Hello everyone, it's Mary. Welcome back to the channel. So excited you're here. Before I get into the card making fun, I wanted to share with you that I want a sponsor. I'm looking for sponsors and no one's knocking down my door just yet to sponsor my videos. But I do get a lot of invitations from different companies to try out their product and talk about it in my videos. And there's most of them I say no to because they just have no suitability here for this channel. However, Nail Reserve reached out to me and they are a soak-off gel nail polish. And so they're vegan-free, cruelty-free. All right, I gotta pause it right here. This is Future Mary. What is vegan-free? That is not what I meant to say. Vegan. They're vegan nail polish. So, okay, back to what you were saying, Mary. And I legitimately have to get reading glasses because I cannot tell what that says in the center. Anyway, I'll put it down below. But they're awesome. They're really, really great. Like, bottom line, right up front, they go on really well. Of course, you always want to put thin layers on with gel nail polish, but I love the opacity in the colors. I love the variety of colors. This today right here is electric red, and it's almost like a pinky red, like, it's not even fire engine. It's just the coolest summer color. But you'll see some of the other colors in the video that I'm going to show you here as I talk. But a couple things about it. First of all, there's a coupon code below if you are interested in trying out this nail polish. I have been on the hunt for nail polish that does not chip after like 2 days. And this stuff is really good. So I think the longest I went without a chip was 10 days. And then I got one small chip, and some of them have lasted over 2 weeks. So I got these over a month ago, and I've been playing with them and trying them out. There's a few different things to keep in mind. I recommend the base coat for sure for longevity, but the peel off coat base is really cool as well because yes, they come off in a couple days if you peel them off. But what I like about that is with gel nail polish, you can cure your nails and they're dried immediately, and you don't have to worry about smudging because I am smudge-tastic. I will find a way to smudge my nail polish. So I really like that. Company seemed great to work with. They were really responsive, really helpful. And like I said, you get a 50% off coupon code below for the first 2 colors you choose, I believe. And so you can check that out. Also, they sent me an extra electric red. So if you're interested, I'm doing a giveaway. Just put in the comment section below, giveaway, and then anything really you want, or even just giveaway. And I'll select a winner, and I'll send this electric red to you because I do not need 2 of them. So that's what I want to share about Nail Reserve. Pretty cool. But I'm also looking for sponsors. Don't forget, if you know somebody, hook us up. Let's get into the video. Okay, so today we are making a masculine card. Super excited about that. I'm going to be showing you some tips and tricks on things to remember, or just maybe add some new ideas to your arsenal of ideas. But I am going to be using this Graphite Colors Gonzai Tombi watercolor set, and it's gorgeous. So we'll check that out. Also, I wanted to show this stamp set here. I highly recommend having something like this where it has multiple occasions, holidays, things like that. That really covers the gamut. And then this Lawn Fawn thank you die as well. So the first thing I want to talk about for masculine cards, or really any card, is use what you have. You don't necessarily have to go out and get something particularly in a certain genre. You can just kind of pull out what you have some fun, and play. So what I'm going to be doing here is this first technique is going to be doing some heat embossing and making my own background. So keep that in mind. I'm using what I have in that I don't have a background piece of pattern paper that says Father's Day. So I'm going to pull this out right here, and I'm going to use my acrylic block for it. I've used my anti-static powder tool on my watercolor cardstock, and that is so that when I'm using my embossing powder, I get clearer images of my stamped Father's Day stamp, right? So I'm going to be using my sticky ink here, and I'm just going to lay that down, then pour powder over it. Now, because I'm dealing with clear ink on top of cardstock, it's hard for me to see exactly where things are going. So I repeat this process, but I like to stamp and then powder, stamp, powder, and then I'm going to heat halfway through. I get that embossing powder melted, and I'm going to go ahead and continue down the cardstock. So that process, once that's done, we're going to start to see a magical moment in card making. So the next thing I'm going to do is I want you to remember that watercolor is for everyone. That's the second thing. Watercolors for everyone. It just, pull out the colors that, if you're making a personal card, that kind of talk to or speak to the person you're making the card for. That's something to consider. And this card is going to be for my husband, and I know he likes these kinds of colors. This graphite collection is gorgeous. I really can't get enough of it. I'm loving it. Really pretty colors, and I think they're showing up on screen pretty much as they are, so that's pretty nice. You can see that, but they just have such a soft tone to them. Really like them. Okay, so I'm just going to cover up my cardstock here, and like I said, the magical moment of card making where things just appear because we had set that powder, and now it's going to resist the paint. So I get this all done in my background, and then I'm going to put this off to the side to dry. You can heat set it, that's fine too. Now the third thing I want to talk about is your fonts. So when you're making a masculine card, you can mix fonts. The Father's Day font was more cursive. This one is more sort of like a blocky, bold kind of sentiment. And so I chose thank you because that's what I had in my stash. I could also take out an alphabet die and just, kind of cut out the word dad or pop or however you want to do it. But I have thank you because I think that's what celebrating Mother's Day, Father's Day is really all about. It's thanking them for all they do for us. And so I'm going to couple this font with the cursive font, right? But I get it through mirror cardstock, and then I'm going to have another one in this white cardstock, which is actually watercolor cardstock. And I do that because I'm going to have this sort of layered. Now I have my mirror cardstock, which picks up a lot of different colors from around it, right? So it's going to look sort of rainbowy at certain glances. And so I wanted to make sure that I had a little bit more of that coordinating color behind it. So I did this in the Forest Moss first for Distress Oxide, but then I went back and I took the Prized Ribbon because I wanted to have both the blue and the green. And I just put it right over it. I mean, it's opaque, so it's gonna be fine. And taking a little bit more of that darker blue color, and now it's dried, and so I can just use this as a flicking technique and get a little bit of those darker blue spots all over my card. Don't shy away from any of these techniques you would do on a more feminine type card. You can use them on your masculine cards. I had a little bit of warping, not much, but a little bit. So I'm taking my thick double-sided adhesive and I'm going to place that right down because it's going to minimize or eliminate my warping. And then I'm just going to layer up my thank you die one on top of the other with some Barely Art glue here. I love the thin nozzle, and I'm just going to line that up. So now you can see it's kind of got this really fun outline. So here's a tip if you haven't seen this before. I'm going to get perfect placement from my panel on my card base, and I'm just going to put my panel right down into my Misty Stampin' Platform and remove that foam piece. And I'm going to take off the release paper here, and I'm just going to line this up right dead set in the corner of my Misty. And because my card panel is already laid in there, it's going to line up perfectly, making sure I don't put it upside down. I've been known to do that. And I'm just going to lay it right down in that corner, and boom, bada bing, it is perfect. It's lined up exactly the right way. Plus the warping is pretty much gone from using that double-sided adhesive. Now I have my card base finished, ready to go. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting my large sentiment on the card. Now I wanted this to pop. So I have these really thin strips of adhesive. This is foam adhesive from scrapbook.com. And instead of pulling off one and having to cut it up, I'm just going to go clear across the piece of the foam adhesive. And now I have my own little set of thin adhesive. So now I can just pull them off and place them all around my sentiment. Now I love this sentiment because it's thick, it's a bold sentiment, it's sort of the focal point on the card, but you can also see all of that Father's Day on the background. This little hack made the process so much easier. I have done the other way where you pull off and you're trying to handle that entire piece of thin foam tape, and it's just really difficult. So I'm going to place this down right in the center. Now, the last tip I have for you is to not shy away from embellishments. So I'm going to make my own embellishments for this. I thought these would go better than using sequins or something like that. So I'm taking my marker and my mat here, which is a silicone mat, and I am just outlining these hearts. These are just some dies I had in my stash, and I'm going to outline them right on my silicone mat. Now, the marker will come off with some alcohol, so don't be afraid to test it out. That's why the alcohol pad is up there. I did test it out, and they came off fine. But I'm going to outline this because I want to take an embellishment that I would use in other ways and use it for this. So I'm going to take my pops of color, and it's going to be in a coordinating blue, and I am just going to fill in this heart with my pops of color. So I'm going slow. I'm holding this in real time for you, and I'm not going to show you all of the hearts, but I'm going to show you how you want to try to have a steady hand, as steady as possible. And you want to work from angles that allow you to stay with the outline so that you're not going sort of against the grain, if you will. You kind of want to drag the pops of color towards you or towards the area where you don't have to go back and forth. And I'm going to do that for all three hearts. And that's going to give me my own personalized embellishment in the color that I wanted. So here you can see how I'm kind of drawing it, just outlining it, and then I'm going to fill it in after I outline it. All right, so that is another opportunity for me to use my silicone mat, use my pops of color, and get something outside the box. Here's the finished. They're wet right here, so here's them finished, and I just had so much fun making those. They were awesome. Now it's the next day and they're dry, so the best thing to do is kind of pick up your silicone mat and peel them off. And now I have my three embellishments that I'm going to put on my cardstock. And you can see the marker piece kind of comes up with it as well. So I'm just going to place these right on my card. They're going to be such a fun addition to my card right here. And I'm just super duper excited about the way this card turned out. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I'm actually going to show you some still photos here because, like I said, that mirror cardstock gives you sort of a rainbow color from on top. But there's the finished card, my Father's Day card for my husband. Here's some still photos so you can see that up close. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Don't forget, if you want to subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you want to join my newsletter, that's something new that I've launched. I try to send out free digital stuff to you all each month just because it's super fun to do so, and I love having you. With the newsletter, you're going to be able to get a lot of the sales, the tips, tricks, new video releases. You'll get that right to your email inbox, and it's faster communication for us. So check that out below, and I will see you all in the comments down below and in the next video. Bye-bye.